On to our next delegate, Matthew Wachowski, please. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. As I mentioned with other delegates, your timer is in front of you. When it is ready, please proceed when you're ready.
All right. Good evening, trustees, staff, and community members. My name is Matthew Wojciechowski. I'm the Vice President of Campaign Life Coalition, a national pro-life and pro-family organization. More importantly, I am a father of 4 children who go to school in this board. On behalf of the nearly 30,000 parents who have signed our petition against the flying of the pride flag in schools, which includes thousands of parents in the Dufferin-Peel area, I'm here to restate our plea that the Dufferin-Peel Catholic District School Board not permit the pride flag to be raised. If the flag protocol is to be reopened, it should only be changed to explicitly prohibit the display of pride flags, which is still happening in schools today. Today, the Catholic Register published a story of a Progress pride flag which was attached to a crucifix in an elementary school in the board. I shouldn't have to tell you how offensive and blasphemous this is. As Catholics, we are defined by our longing to conform ourselves to Christ, to the cross, to be transformed and to suffer in pursuit of virtue, including the virtues of fortitude, prudence, and chastity. The same virtues that this board celebrates on a monthly basis across all schools. Coincidentally, like the previous speaker mentioned, today happens to be the feast day of Saint Agnes, who was killed and who is the patron saint of chastity. All of us, including those with same-sex attraction and those living with gender dysphoria, are called to live chastely, to order one's emotions and desires towards true and authentic love, to conform to God's vision for human sexuality, to strive for the purity of heart. Jesus says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." It is a call for constant conversion of heart. The pride flag, however, propagates the exact opposite message. It says you're fine as you are, you don't need to strive for conversion, and you can establish an identity outside of Christ and take pride in this rebellion. And you can also reject your sexual nature as male and female. As Pope Francis wrote in a recent encyclical, and I quote, "Desiring a personal self-determination as gender theory prescribes amounts to a concession to the age-old temptation to make oneself God, entering into competition with the true God of love revealed to us in the gospel." End quote. Our schools, or Catholic schools, are in the business of promoting human dignity. But in order to do that, you need to have an understanding of our human nature, how God made us and who he wants us to become. God is always calling us to the highest standard, which is sainthood. Our Catholic schools should reflect this wonderful call for all of our children to become saints. Even if you wish for the pride flag to stand for something other than what it does, that is not how it is being perceived in our culture, in every space, by the media, by your pop culture, by everyone. It is always understood to promote and celebrate homosexual activity and gender ideology. As His Eminence Frank Cardinal Leo said just last June, the most Sacred Heart of Jesus represents our public witness of love, care, acceptance, and redemption. It is the only symbol we need in reaching out to others, in better understanding and deeply experiencing the life-giving power of Christ's personal love for them. He also wrote that symbols carry meaning and are powerful in conveying truths and inspiring to action. For Catholic Christians, the crucifix and the Sacred Heart of Jesus are the authentic and unsurpassed symbols of love, welcoming, and compassion, end quote. If there are students in the board who presently feel excluded and like they're not represented by the cross or the Sacred Heart of Jesus, our focus should be to improve catechesis and religious education. That is the job of Catholic schools. We don't need secular politicized symbols which confuse children and separate them from the Catholic values they receive at home and in their parishes. Now, going back to that image that the Catholic Register published today with the cross and the pride flag, you might insist that the coupling of the crucifix and pride flag was just a mistake made by school staff. But the board sets the tone. By permitting the display of pride flags and other symbols, you sent the message that pride is compatible with the teachings of the church. The appropriate response to this blasphemy would be to say no more pride flags anywhere. It would be outrageous if instead of ensuring enforcement of the flag protocol that you guys decided on last June, the board entertains the notion of allowing more pride flags. please listen to His Eminence Frank Cardinal Leo and our Holy Father Pope Francis, as well as to the thousands of parents, grandparents, and ratepayers who I am representing here today. Don't buckle to the demands of non-Catholic activists just for the clout. OECTA does not elect you. They don't pay your salary. Please listen to the voters. You were elected to make Catholic schools Christ-centered. Don't listen to those who want to replace Christ with pride. May Our Lady guide you, and may St. Agnes intercede for you as you discern the future of Catholic schools and this Catholic school board. God bless.
I'll ask the gallery, please be quiet. Thank you. Any questions from the trustees to the delegates? I have trustee Raheem White, student trustee Raheem White, trustee Paul Donato Giovinazzi. Anybody else? Go ahead, student trustee Raheem White, please.
Thank you, and through the chair, thank you for your delegation. You mentioned that if we were to revisit this policy, that it should only be to explicitly prohibit the display of pride flags, which is still happening in schools, even outside of the so-called Pride Month. Why should we specifically target the pride flag?
Did you not read my statement? I mean, the pride flag.
On a
is
point of order, Mr.
incompatible-
Chairman.
Excuse me.
I'm
He's still
sorry.
answering. You have to wait for the answer. Thank you
Pride
very much.
flag, as I mentioned, is incompatible with Catholic Church teaching. Like the Cardinal Leo, our current Cardinal, similar to Cardinal Thomas Collins, who was there before him, they have both written statements on the importance of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the cross as the only symbol that exemplifies inclusivity, mercy, compassion, love. If you want children who are suffering, and I'm not discrediting that. I know children are suffering. I know a lot of people are suffering with trying to figure out who they are, right? I get that. And my heart bleeds for those people who are confused. I too was very confused when I was 10, when I was 16. I get it.
Sorry,
That
can you
is
answer the
why-
question, please? You're
Yes.
rambling now. Can you answer the question,
Yeah,
please?
you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
That is why the Cardinals have asked schools to focus on the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the cross, which is the ultimate sign of everything that many people think the pride flag represents, but unfortunately they are wrong and misguided.
Thank you for your answer. Student trustee Raheem White, you can ask your next question of clarification.
Through the chair, did the cardinal say remove pride flags from classrooms?
That's not, that's a clarification to the delegates' delegation.
Trustee, did you read the Cardinal statement on the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the cross? I suggest you read that statement that Cardinal Leo wrote. I suggest you read the statement that Cardinal Collins wrote before him. I suggest that you read the catechism. I suggest that you consult with your pastor, consult with our archdiocese, and I'm sure you will get the answer, just like I did.
Any other questions? You good? Thank you very much. Sorry, trustee Paul Donato Giovinazzi, go ahead, please.
Hello, thank you for your delegation. I wanted to ask, through the chair, have you consulted with our local bishops or cardinals before coming to the Dufferin-Peel Catholic District School Board to deliver your statement this evening?
As a matter of fact, I did, and not just tonight, but I've been consulting with our archdiocese and our spiritual pastors for the last 10 years in my capacity as vice president of Campaign Life Coalition. So yeah, I have. But more importantly, even if I didn't consult, the diocese put out a beautiful statement on the
Thank you.
Sacred Heart of Jesus.
The question has been answered. Thank you very much. Are there any other
The other one
questions?
gets all this time, but I don't get the time to answer. my
Excuse
question.
me, the question has been answered. The question, excuse me, the question was asked, have you consulted? You answered the question. You are now going further from the answer.
And in all due respect, sir, one of the other delegates also was able to ramble on, so why can't I ramble on? In all due respect, I'm just asking. And I'm not rambling on, I'm answering the question because it
Excuse
seems,
me, the question
this
was
board-
asked, the question, and the answer was provided.
it seems like this board has not read
Thank
the
you very much for your
documents that
comments.
the Cardinal asked you guys to read last
Thank
year,
you for your
3
comments.
years ago. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other questions for the delegate? Seeing none, thank you for your delegation. Sorry, trustee Raheem, student trustee Raheem White, go ahead, please.
At the start, through the chair, at the start of your delegation, you mentioned you are the vice president of Campaign Life Coalition. What is Campaign Life Coalition and what do you advocate for?
As I started my speech, I said, Campaign Life Coalition is the national pro-life and pro-family organization. Those are the two issues we advocate for. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your answer. Any other questions for the delegates? Seeing none, thank you for your delegation, sir. To trustees, any questions to the staff?